Hello and good morning, everyone. Dear learners, I am Poonam Sharma, an assistant professor at Bhavan Silavati Munshi College of Education. Today, I am going to share my understanding about the educational research. But before proceeding about it, let me talk about the research first. So, this research term has been comprised of two words. One is re and the second is search. So question arises, why do we search again and again? Is there any need to search on the same problem again and again? So the answer might be that you might not be satisfied with the findings of the research. You might see some different dimensions of problem, and your perspective might be different to look at the same problem. So in that way, you think that you need to do research again on the same topics or on the same variables. Now next, we just think about what could be the attributes of the research. So essential attributes of the research could be number one, problem, number two, activities, third is scientific or systematic, next is the process, and next is the solution. Uh, these attributes have been given by Professor D.N. Sansanwal. We have attended the research methodology workshop conducted by him in the month of December 2019, from where we have derived that when we make the definition of the research, these attributes should be available in it. So I am going to give you a time and think about that with the help of these attributes, what definition can you make? Just think about it, and once you are done, you can resume the video. Dear learners, you might have come up with the definition, and it may be like this. So research refers to process. Process is available there. You can see the process in which activities are carried out. Activities are carried out scientifically or systematically. Scientifically, this attribute is here. To find a solution, solution is again an attribute of problem. Problem. This definition has been given by Professor D.N. Sansanwal, and it really helped me to understand the vivid term research. And really, when you talk about day-to-day problems, when you do any activity or any action with a systematic process, I think you are able to get the solutions in which the probability of error is minimum. So, like when you are going to make some chapatis or you are going to make certain dishes for your family, you follow certain process, and in that process activities are really carried out systematically. Only then you are going to have the delicious dish in your hand. So that's why you must have. So these are the attributes of research in which you need to take care of the problem, and activities, all sort of activities should be conducted in a systematic way, and it should be conducted in a process, sequential process, and you must have certain solution of that problem in your hand. So this is all about the meaning or the concept of research. Next, we will talk about the educational research, and this definition has been given by Gay Melson Erickson, and he has simply written the definition like educational research is a formal, systematic application of scientific method to the study of educational problems. If I talk about the definition which is given by Dr. Professor D.N. Sansarwal, it was same like earlier that when we talk about the educational research, this I am going to take you back to the back slide. In this, he has it refers to process in which activities are carried out scientifically, systematically to find the solution of problem. After that, you simply add 2 or 3 words. Problem pertaining to the aspects of education, then it becomes the educational research. So that research which is pertaining to the aspects of education, it becomes the educational research. Research which is pertaining to the aspects of psychology, that becomes research in psychology. So in that way we can say that you need to mention that whatever activities you are carried out systematically or scientifically, it should pertain to that domain. Then you are going to have the solution of that domain. So next, we will talk about the characteristics, and characteristics of educational research are hidden in the attributes. So let's have a look on the characteristics of educational research. It is systematic, as I've earlier said, it is systematic in nature. Why do we want it to be systematic? Because we want to minimize the chance of error here. I know that error may there is a chance of commitment of errors. It is not going to be absolute zero, but when you do any activities or when you are involved in certain processes, in that process if activities are carried out systematically, the probability of success is maximum there. So you need to conduct the activities in a systematic way. Next, it is problem oriented. Yes, you must have certain problem in your mind, and during that problem your activities should go on. It involves a process. All the activities should be carried out in a systematic process, and activities is definitely an essential attribute of this. And last is it leads to a solution. You must give certain solution to the fraternity of the research or the educational research. It should give answers to many stakeholders. It may be the administrators, it may be the educational policy makers, it may be the teachers, students. So it should give solution to the fraternity of educational research. Next, we will talk about, next we have a reflection spot here. Uh, First is mention 2 characteristics of research. So I think you can see the answer. Answer is here. It is problem oriented and systematic. For the next question, I'm going to give you 1 minute only. You need to find out whether these sentences pertain to the research or not. Like Mr. Singla reviewed literature on e-learning and wrote a paper. Do you find that it is going to be a part of research? Yes or no? Simply give your answer in yes or no. Dr. Sharma wrote a note to the principal regarding his observation of student behavior. Do you find that research is available? Has he conducted any research? Dr. Gupta collected information from the employers regarding the job responsibilities of graduate engineers in the automobile industry and prepared competence profile for design of curriculum. Do you find this in this research has been conducted? And the last is Mr. Gupta wrote an article on learner-centric MOOCs. Now just I'm going to give you 1 minute, or I must say 30 seconds, and please come up with your answer. Once you are done, you may resume the video. So you might have done your work, so I'm going to show you the answers. Mr. Singla reviewed literature on e-learning and wrote a paper. This is not a research. This is not a research. Next is Dr. Sharma wrote a note to the principal regarding his observation of student behavior. This is again not a research. Dr. Gupta collected information. In this you are going to find all the attributes. In this you are going to find all the essential attributes of research. Only then you can say yes, it is a research. And in the last again, this is not a research. Simply writing an article on the understanding MOOC is not a research. So I think now you might have understood the essential attributes of a research. So next we will talk about the types or the classifications of research. So there are two ways of classifying research. One way is to classify research on the basis of purpose, the degree to which research findings are applicable to an educational setting, and the degree to which they are generalizable. And the other way of classifying research is on the basis of method employed in the research. So, taking purpose as the basis of classification, research is considered to be of four types, and these four types are basic research, applied research, action research, and evaluation research. And when we talk about the classification of research on the basis of method, then we have again five types of research: historical research, descriptive research, correlation, ex post facto, and experimental. Let me tell you that I have attended an online course on a SWAM platform from where I got to know various things about the research. So this classification I have derived from that online course. Next is when we are going to talk about the characteristics of basic, applied, action, and evaluation research. So these are the basic characteristics. So when we talk about the basic research, the purpose of basic research is to add to the existing body of knowledge by understanding the processes or a phenomena in a controlled situation. So it is concerned with the development of theory and I must say refinement of theory. Like we can say that how do people learn? What is the effect of positive and negative reinforcement on learning? So these questions can be answered by studying a phenomena in laboratory settings or conditions within rigorous control of intervening variables. So next is the applied research. The major purpose of applied research is to answer practical and useful questions about policies, about programs, about projects, procedures, or organizations. And I think Mason has really vividly explained this, that it is undertaken to test a theory or evaluate its usefulness in a given educational setting. So it is thus undertaken to solve an immediate practical problem, and it aims at finding what works best. So here you must take care that in this research, the applied scientists try to test the findings of basic research in the applied setting. Next, we will talk about the action research. Um Action research, we have earlier discussed about this. that its primary purpose is to solve immediate classroom problems in which is being solved with the proper collaboration between the teachers and the students. So it is just a small scale intervention in the functioning of real world and a close examination of the effects of such intervention. So it is concerned with the solution of a specific problem and in a local situation, and is conducted by a person or persons who is to use the findings of the research. So it is, I must say, it is situational and it is participatory. It needs collaboration, and its aim should be to solve the problem immediately. So it is generally conducted or undertaken by teachers to determine the effectiveness of a specific teaching intervention in a particular setting. Evaluation research is all about to collect systematic data to help educators to make decisions regarding the merit or value or worth of an educational program. So this is all about the characteristics of basic applied action and evaluation research. For that, if you want to further uh, extend your learning, you may have comprehensive knowledge of these types of research on this URL. You may find it and please extend your learning. Next, I will talk about, I'm going to ask you certain questions and I just wanted to know whether you have learned it or not. So again, I'm creating a reflection spot for you. These are the questions and I'm going to give you few seconds, and within few seconds please come up with the answers, and I hope you are going to get the correct answers. Once you are done, you can resume the video. So learners, you might have done with the answers, and here I'm going to present some answers to you. So mention primary purpose of basic research. So primary purpose is to extend the knowledge or to develop the theory. Next is which research is undertaking to test a theory or evaluate its usefulness in a given educational setting. When we test a theory, we always talk about the implication or the application part. So it is all about the applied research. And last, research is when you are going to see the effectiveness of a specific teaching intervention in a particular setting, it is all about the action research. So this is the reflection spot. I think you have got basic knowledge about the different kinds of research. Next, I am going to classify research on the basis of methods. So on the basis of methods, we can divide the research in 5 parts. You can see it is, one is historical, second is descriptive, third is correlation, fourth ex post facto, and last one is experimental. So historical research generally qualitative होती है, और you can see that the purpose of this research is to arrive at conclusions that exist or practices that are held earlier and the processes that are going on and effects that are being felt or trends that are developing. So I must I must confess my error here, that the purpose of historical research is to arrive at conclusions concerning trends or causes or effects of past occurrences. So this may help in explaining present events and anticipating future events, and it is generally qualitative in nature. Descriptive research studies deals with the collecting data and testing hypotheses or answering questions related to current status of the phenomena. So this deals with the question like what is of a situation. And correlational research का जो aim है, it is to determine the degree of relationship between two or more quantifiable variables. एक और चीज़ यहाँ पर आपको ध्यान देनी होगी, that the relationship between the variables could be used for making predictions. For that we need to do regression analysis, and after regression we get to know whether the particular variable has the predicting power or not. Next is the ex post facto. In this, we try to establish tentative cause and effect relationships, and independent variables or cause is not manipulated because cause and effect have already occurred. In that point, it is different from the experimental research. इसमें एक्सपोज फैक्टो रिसर्च में कॉज एंड इफेक्ट दोनों ही ऑलरेडी अकर्ड हो चुके हैं, बट इन एक्सपेरिमेंटल रिसर्च में एक वेरिएबल है जो हम मैनिपुलेट करते हैं. One variable manipulated to study effect on dependent variables. तो independent variable को हम मैनिपुलेट करते हैं, बट एक्स पोस्ट फैक्टो में हम इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स को मैनिपुलेट नहीं कर सकते. So in that context, it is different from experimental research. So in this, we can say that researcher has no control on the variables, or he cannot manipulate the variables which cause a certain effect being measured. But in experimental research, one variable is being manipulated and groups randomly formed to study comparisons. So it will always have two or more groups for comparison on the dependent variables, and it is the only type of research which can establish true cause and effect relationship. So this is all about the experimental research. So these are the characteristics of research which has been classified on the basis of method. Now I am going to take you to the learning by doing activity. These are the studies. You need to find out in which category this research study comes in. First is analysis of normal trading in the pre-partition era. You can see the pre-partition era, so you may come up with in which type of research it comes. Intelligence, aptitude and learning style of first year students of mechanical engineering in the state of Haryana. In which category you are going to put it in. Then you have to find out the type of research in which this study has been conducted. It is effect of pre-service training on teaching effectiveness of teachers working in elementary schools in New Delhi. And last is the correlates of academic achievement at graduation level. So you are required to do this activity as soon as possible. Once you are done, you may resume the video. So dear learners, you might have found out certain answers. So here I am going to present you some answers. Analysis of normal trading in pre-partition era. Pre-partition era itself says it's a historical research. Intelligence, aptitude and learning style of first year students. Current की बात हो रही है, तो it is the descriptive research. Effect of pre-service training on pre-service training जो हो चुका है on teaching effectiveness of teachers working in elementary, जो effect भी आ चुका है, cause भी हो चुका है, effect भी दोनों भी हो चुके हैं. That comes in the ex post facto research. And correlates, जहाँ word correlates, it means we are going to see the correlation. It is about the correlational research. So in order to extend your learning in the classification of research, I am going to give you certain extension trajectories. These are the PDFs and the video, which will definitely be helpful for better understanding of the concept, types of research and the classification and its nature or the characteristics. So these extension learning extension directories will definitely help you. This and this is the link for the videos. I think you can see that. So next, again a reflection spot for you, and this is a very small, that how can you say that action research is different from the educational research? In my last video I have discussed about the action research, and in this video I have discussed about the educational research. Now can you differentiate between these two? I'm going to give you a few minutes or few seconds I must say, and once you are done you may resume it. So dear learners, I think you might have find out certain reasons behind that. So the first base of difference is on the basis of generalization. The research which pertains to education can be generalized, and the research you have conducted during the action research, it is not generalizable. Next is the base of the difference in utility. Uh, it is useful for its use is very broad and very wide, while the use of action research is not so broad and so wide. So, but there again a question emerges in my mind, that why do we think that it is not generalizable? Why action research is not generalizable? Because we can say that here, whatever the sample we take is very small, and on that basis we are not in a position to generalize it. And the second factor could be the tool also, the tool that we are taking, whether it has been properly standardized or not, whether in standardizing tool the size of the population was large or not. So all these things really matters a lot. So I think in that way we can say that action research is different from the educational research. So I hope this video is going to be very fruitful for you, and in my next video I am going to discuss about the steps of conducting research. But I'm going to give you again a question, and you just take your time to ponder before answering. And the question is, why do we say identification of problem? Why don't we say selection of problem? Just find out the answer of this question. In our next video, I'm going to give you the answer of this. So thank you so much for your time. Take care of yourself and your family. Stay home and stay safe.